I'm Ganna, and I'm from a place where academic achievements largely define who you are and what your future will be, where being active is not always a choice, but often a necessity, where caring and participation are not always signs of interest, but almost a civic duty. From a world of evaluation and grades, from a world of images and one's own expectations, and also expectations of others, parents, mentors, teachers, and most likely, at least some of you are from the same kind of world. And it was very easy for me to believe that all of this was what I wanted. Olympiads, grades, exams, lessons, projects, volunteering. Because I'm a smart, caring, hardworking student. Because I want to change the world. Because I want to get the best education, to get into the best university, to get the best, and of course, the job I love. Because I want to help my parents, to get a dog, to defeat universal evil with my small happy life. Because difficulties can be overcome. Because after dark time, there always comes a bright one. Because war is evil, and freedom is the highest value, and history teaches us not to repeat mistakes. That our world is a logical place where we all live in and follow the same rules. But then, at some point, somewhere between the end of 8 lessons followed by SAT preparation course, swimming practice, and completing my geography summary for tomorrow, a question appeared. Who was the person who created all this schedule and was truly motivated to follow it? But it seems like another question is far more important. Did this person ever exist at all? And if no, then who am I? There's a phrase, space determines the object. But then a simple but very uncomfortable one arises. Question, I mean. Who are you outside of that space? What determines you? How can you define yourself not through a system, not worker, not student, not citizen, not through another person, not child, not friend, not partner, and not through external evaluation, not straight A student, not winner, not athlete? What if you just remove all of that? Who are you then? And even if no words come to your mind, you're still someone. You exist. So, what remains of a person if you remove everything they call themselves? You can say, there is meaning. Or you can say, there is none. And honestly, I feel like both of answers are ways to calm yourself. You can try to define yourself through your purpose. Love, achievements, hedonism, suffering, helping others. But what if I take you and move you from one space to another? Like a book from one shelf to another. Who are you then? What are your motives? What are your goals? How do you feel in this new space? Do you even have those goals? In general, life may be terrible, and it may always be that way. In a world of wars, capitalism, and inequality, you can never prove that aliens won't attack you tomorrow. I have an exam tomorrow, but what are we even talking about if tomorrow I might not even be here? Maybe I'll be on a spaceship, or a drop of dew, or a tropical vine, or a wet brick somewhere in Italy. We live in a world of shortages, but at the same time, excesses. How many pairs of socks do you need? How many pairs of sneakers? How much money, cars, square meters? How many people can you trust? And I'm not talking about overconsumption right now. I'm talking about something else. I'm talking about the fact that someone once made you think that all of this is what you need. That you're an object, a student, a worker, that you go to work one way and come back another. That on weekends you go to the gym or do your homework, that after school you'll go to university. That you live in this country, that you live in this world. You live in a world that you once defined for yourself. But what if you don't like it? So why exactly this one? It's like an illusion, but if it's an illusion, then it's a universal one. You can't simply leave capitalism. There is no way out of it. Where would you go? Into the forest? Well, you cut down someone else's tree, private property. You take a backpack with equipment, but by this very act, you support the system. But most importantly, you haven't broken anything. You haven't come to some sort of great conclusion. You simply sacrificed your comfort and now are listening to the rain hitting the roof of your hut. So by our every act, by our very existence, by eating, working, earning money, we feed the system which victims we are, to one degree or another. So how does your cup look like? No, really, the one you drink from every evening. How does it look like? Is it big and made of clay or small and light? How does it feel in your hand? Why do you choose to drink from this cup? Why are you sitting in a chair and not under the table? I know it's not a table, but it's okay. How do you feel in the space you're in? And to what extent does it define you? We'll never come closer to understanding each other. We'll never fully understand each other. We'll never build a better world. We'll never live in it. But we'll always be in motion. And no matter how much we want it, nothing will stop, ever. It didn't have water, by the way, or something. So, space envelops and surrounds us. If I take a red lamp and photograph it on my desk, that's one thing. But if I take the very same lamp and photograph it in the forest, that's something very different. What if you grew up in one country and learned to think one way, but then, all of a sudden, found yourself in another, outside of your space? But who are you outside of that space? Who are you outside system? Who are you outside society? A person means nothing without what surrounds them. And we'll never come closer to understanding each other without accepting one simple truth. A person is nothing without what surrounds them. Any conflict fits here too. We're not arguing with vases on shelves. We're arguing with constantly moving, changing substances, which cannot be simplified into opinions, arguments, or positions. So, who are you if you fail exam? Who are you if you leave school? Who are you if you become a photographer and move to live somewhere in a Norwegian village? Who are you without freedom of speech? Who are you under specific political regime? Who are you in your familiar environment? And who are you in your unfamiliar environment? Who are you when there are people around you who are weaker? And who are you when the weakest one is you? Who are you when a very beautiful person looks back at you from a mirror in the mornings? And who are you if there's an ugly one in front of you? Who are you when you face something you personally don't understand? And who are you if you're angry? And who are you if you feel good? Who are you next to the person you love? And who are you next to the person that really annoys you? How do you interact with the space you're in? And to what extent does it define you? I know these questions are almost impossible to answer, but I'm not talking about finding answers. I'm simply saying that our world is not flat or three-dimensional. It's simply eternally moving. And perhaps the only thing we can do is for a fraction of a second catch the rhythm of its movement. When state, feelings, desires, and space merge into harmony. When you can be in space without panicking about losing your subjectivity, because to be honest, most of the time, it simply doesn't exist. In the moments of crisis, transition, when everything around you changes, it's very easy to start lying to yourself, to invent meanings of life, plans, systems, morality. But what if you don't do that? What if you remain in this state? Because you're not a separately existing object. You're a part of a whole, and a larger whole, and an even larger whole. And I was about to say something very important at this moment. Yeah, you're definitely part of a larger whole. Either ways, my point is that in this life, you have to be. And the earlier this thought takes root, the easier it becomes to catch this rhythm. So you can be in space, to be a participant, or an observer, or perhaps a researcher. So, who are you? Thank you.